Welcome to the Don't Be Shady Podcast, the space where we get real about love, heartbreak, and everything in between. Today, we're diving deep into something we often overlook in our healing journey: forgiveness. But not the kind of forgiveness you might be thinking of. I'm not talking about forgiving your ex, your friend, or someone who hurt you. I'm talking about the most important kind: forgiving yourself. Whether it's the mistakes you made in love, staying too long in the wrong relationships, or simply being too hard on yourself, we've all been there. We carry guilt, shame, and regret like heavy baggage that weighs us down, stops us from moving forward, and keeps us from embracing the life we deserve. But here's the truth: you deserve forgiveness just as much as anyone else does. So today, let's talk about what it really means to let go of that self-blame and give yourself the grace to heal. Because forgiveness isn't just for others. Sometimes it starts with you. Let's unpack this one layer at a time. Let's define self-forgiveness. Acknowledging that it's not just about letting go and let go of guilt, but embracing self-compassion and understanding that we're all human and we make mistakes. Often we hold ourselves to higher standards than we do others, making self-forgiveness even harder. Common reasons we struggle to forgive ourselves: past mistakes in relationships. Oh man, staying too long in a toxic relationships, ignoring the red flags, or hurting someone we loved. I, for one, have stayed in relationships way longer than I should have. And when I look back at those relationships that I stayed too long in, I almost want to slap myself because I knew better and I stayed. For me, it was about hoping the outcome would be different and giving the benefit of the doubt when I knew better. But because I truly loved the person that I was with, I hoped that they would love me right and just be the person I needed them to be. But in reality, they're who they are, and I can't wish someone to be anyone but who they are. But however, in that same sentence, I still love them for who they were, flaws and all. Self-blame. Sometimes we blame ourselves for things beyond our control, like why a relationship failed or how we responded to difficult situations. This was huge for me because I can't control what other people do. I cannot control anyone. But I just wish they would have listened to me, trusted me, talked to me. I know things would have turned out differently. We'll elaborate later. A little bit of regret. Not achieving certain goals, missing opportunities, not being as strong as we think we should have been. Sometimes in relationships, we lose ourselves by trying to make the other person happy. I left my own goals and dreams behind. At the same time, I thought it was the best given the circumstances because I was going through a separation at that time. So I was grieving. Why self-forgiveness is so hard. Delve into the reasons why we tend to be so much harder on ourselves than others. Is it due to perfectionism, fear of judgment, the inability to separate the actions from our identity? Let's talk about socialization pressure, always be better, and how that adds to our feelings of inadequacy. I can definitely relate to that. The consequences of not forgiving yourself. Holding on to guilt and self-blame can sabotage future relationships, self-esteem, and personal growth. Facts. Oh man, how it can create cycles of self-destructive behavior, like staying in bad relationships because we don't believe we deserve better. Like, oh, this one is big, huge for me. Because once you're already in the cycle of not feeling worthy of someone, you stay stuck. You stay trying to be loved and accepted. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? Like, when I think of that time in my life where I thought that I wasn't good enough, worthy enough, just enough, period, I shake my head in disbelief. Like, as I'm even saying this, I'm an amazing person inside and out. And I have like the heart of gold. And when I love you, I fucking love you. And I will go to the ends of the earth for you. But that was taken advantage of because this person seen me love them the way that I did. I got taken advantage of. I started to believe that I wasn't good enough. I had just separated from my husband of 13 years, and I was pretty happy to be out of that relationship, to be quite honest with you. I had fought really hard to keep that from falling apart, like for 2 years, like 2 years of crying and telling this man how much I was hurting and him not listening to me, or even trying to go to therapy or marriage counseling. Like nothing. I begged. Things got so bad, we're coexisting in the same house. I lived in a separate room in the home, but when I finally left, it felt like a weight of that relationship was gone. Now I was free to really love me. And I know this makes no sense right now, and I will do my best to help you understand my story. I fell into a new relationship after that separation with my best friend, someone that made me feel seen, heard, and safe until he didn't. So we will dive deeper into that a little later. Steps to start forgiving yourself. Self acceptance. Accept that you're human and mistakes are part of the journey. Reflect on what happened, but don't dwell on it. What can you learn from that? What would you do differently? Rewriting your narrative. Let's talk about that. Talk about how you can reframe the past mistakes as part of our growth rather than the source of shame. You must rewrite your story that you were telling yourself. It could either be the best part of your story or the biggest lesson. That part is entirely up to you. Letting go of perfectionism. It's important to embrace the imperfections and releasing unrealistic expectations where no one's perfect. Oh man, journaling. Write down your thoughts. Write letters of forgiveness to yourself. I have recently did this and it really helped me heal that part of me. Affirmations. Share some self-forgiveness affirmations like I release myself from the mistakes of my past, or I am worthy of love and understanding, especially myself. Mindfulness and meditation. Focus on practices that help individually stay present and detached from the mental replay of past mistakes. Therapy. Therapy is going to be huge in your work of getting through this. I actually started a class called Up Level, best decision I ever made in my life. This class taught me how to get out of my head and start feeling the feelings that I was running from. I was so caught up in the pain of all that. I started telling myself all kinds of stories, things that weren't even true, to try to make sense of the pain that I was feeling. And forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgetting. You're never going to forget. It's more like rather accepting and learning from it. Like I definitely learned from that relationship and I took the time to love me and forgive myself. That relationship wasn't all bad. For me, it was beautiful on so many different levels. It's about moving forward and without the weight of guilt holding you back. I'm not going to lie, like I do struggle with this a little bit here and there as I'm making shit happen. I think my story is like many of your stories. Loving the wrong people and then feeling guilty when things don't work out. To be honest, I struggle with this a little bit. I haven't forgiven myself 100%. I know that as I keep working on myself, this journey is so beautiful. I'm not where I was when this all started. Progress, not perfection, I say. I wanted so badly for things to have turned out differently. I will say this. Maybe this story doesn't have a happy ending, but my next one will. I'm putting in the work to be the best version of myself so that I can be the best partner to whoever. Empowerment through self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is an act of self-love and the first step toward claiming power over your life. We cannot stay stuck in the past of our failed relationships. That can be personal or business. Not all relationships are meant to be forever. Sometimes those people come into our lives to teach us things. They are here for a reason, for a season and a reason. Don't force anyone to be part of your life. If they wanted to, they would. So forgive yourself. And remember, self-love is the best gift that we can give ourselves. Never force relationships that no longer align with your future. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Forgiveness.